Hello, Vinci. Welcome back. So we are on the 14th of the 1st, 2021. These are our arithmetic questions. So you've got your challenge 1 side and your challenge 2 side. So I want you to pause the video, have a go. So starting off with our challenge 1, you've got 2 and 6. Again, I'm going to get my ruler. I've got to put my finger on 2, put my finger on 6, and I'm just going to jump up. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 jumps. That's going to give me the answer of 4. I start on 5. I add nothing. I'm still going to be on 5. 9, take away 6. I'm going to start on 9. And I'm going to just jump back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I get to my answer of 3. And give that a tick. And then just like before, what you can do for this is I'm going to, if I just make my screen a bit bigger for you so I don't have to keep closing and opening. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find 17. I'm going to put my finger on 17. So there it is. And then I'm going to choose any number that's below 17. So I might choose 9. There we go. I'm going to choose 9. And then, so my first number is going to be 9. So I'm going to write 9 in here. So starting from 9, I'm going to 17, which is here. I then need to jump, count how many jumps I'm going to do until I get all the way to 17. So starting from 9, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 9 add 8 is going to be 17, and that is the answer for that is one of the answers that you could have had for your extension. Okay, so let's move on. So 19 add 11. So again, you could use your ruler for this. You could start on 19, you could add 11, you could do the other option, which is if I just move this down and I move myself across. There we go. You could put your 19 in here. So 1, 9, 1, and 1. So 19 add 11. So 9 add 1 is going to be 10. So again, just like before, we partitioned 10 into 10 and 0. So we're going to put a 0 in our ones, and we're going to move that 10 over to the other side. So we're going to cross out the 1, make it into a 2. And then we're going to go 2 add 1 is 3. Your answer is 30. 30 what? Well, it's going to be 30. Oh dear, 33 pence. So there we go. That's your 30 pence. So let's go on to the next one. It says 18 add 23. So I'm going to, again, I'm writing whichever way is easier for me. I might write in 23 first because it's a bigger number. It might be a bit easier for me to calculate that. So I'm going to put 23 and then I'm going to put 18 here. So 3 add 8. Well, if I use my ruler, start from 8, count on 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to end up on 11. So I'm going to split up my 11 into, again, I've got 10s and 1s. So my 1s is going to go into this column here. And in my 10s, I'm going to add 110. So I'm going to add this 110 onto this side. So I'm going to cross that 2 out, make it a 3. Because I've added 110 and then I've dealt with that 11. It's done with. Okay, so now I'm going to 3 add 1. Well, that's going to be 4. So my answer is going to be 41 pence. So that's the answer I'm going to write in, 41, and we're working with pence of 41p. Nice and quick. And then if I move on to the next one is 27 take away 12. Now this does matter which way around we put it because it's a takeaway, so we must put that biggest number first for now. Take away 12, so I write in 12, and then what we're going to do is we're going to do 7 take away 2, 7 in my head, 2, so it's going to be 7, 6, 5 in this box, And then 2 take away 1, well, like 1 less than 2 I know is 1. So the answer is going to be 15. But again, we're working with money. So it's 15 pence because I've checked that these two are working with pence. Okay, something add something is £73. Oof, that's a difficult one, that. One of the ways that you could work it out is you could work in reverse, so working opposite. So I could put I know my answer is going to be 73. Okay. So one of the ways is, how do I make 3? Well, I could make 3 with a 2 and a 1. And I could make 7 by maybe a 2 and a 5. So I can check my answer. 2 add 1 is 3. 2 add 5 is 7. So if I write this in, it then fills in the rest of it. So it could be 22 add 51. Now, the only thing that I'm missing is if I look under this answer, it's got my pound sign. So I must make sure that whatever your answer is to add up to 73, you add in your pound sign to make sure that you know that you're talking about pounds. So that's the first question there, and the first arithmetic challenges. So let's move on. So the learning objective is: can I find change of a given amount? So today we're going to be playing shopkeepers, and we're going to be focusing on giving change back to the customer. Okay. So we've got Alex here. Alex is our first customer that's come in, and he said, "Please, can I buy this van?" And I've said, "Absolutely, you can." The van is 20p. He says, "I've got this coin here," and he gives me this coin. So I go, "Okay." So I'm going to start by looking at my 50 pence piece, because that's the one that he's given me first. That's the coin he's given me. So I'm going to look at this. Now, I know you don't have one of these, but I'm going to look at this and I'm going to highlight my 50 pence. So let me just change my highlighter color so that you can see what I'm looking at. There we go. So I've highlighted 50. Then I need to highlight the number of how much it costs. So my highlighted other number is going to be 20. So just like when I found the first number on my ruler and I found the next number on my ruler and I count how much is in between, it's a little bit like that. I'm going to find my first number, which is 50, the amount that he's given me. I'm going to find how much it costs, which is 20. So it's asking me 50 pence, take away 20 pence. And I need to find what the difference is. I need to find how much change I need to give back to Alex. It's not fair if I keep the change, because then I'm charging him more. So in order to find the change, I'm going to start from 50 and I'm going to do some jumps backwards until I get to my number. Now for this one, both of my numbers are in the multiples of 10. They're all in this line, which are multiples of 10, counting in tens. So I can count back in tens and stop when I get to my number. So I'm going to count from 50. I'm going to go 10 less is 40. 10 less is 30. 10 less is 20. So I've got 1, 2, 3 tens. So 3 tens is 10, 20, 30. What are we working with? We're working with 30 pence. So that is my answer, 30p change. That's how much I'm going to give back to Alex. So let's move on to the next question. We've got Jane that's arrived. Jane's arrived and she said, "Can I please have this pack of crayons? I've got 20 pence. And I've told her, well, the pack of crayons is 7 pence. And she says, okay, she gives me the money. So I now need to find out how much change she needs. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight Jane's amount. So she's given me 20. And I'm going to, as if I'm using my ruler, I'm going to find 20 and I'm going to find how much it costs, which is 7. So I'm going to find 7. Now for this one, I can use my ruler because both of my numbers are on my ruler. So what I can do is, because you won't have this at home. You don't have a 100 square at home. So what you can do is you can get your 20 pence and you can find your 7 pence, and then you can start from 7 or start from 20 and you can count the gaps in between. Okay, so you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it's 13 that is the answer. That's how much change we're going to give Jane, my fault. So that's how much change we're going to give Jane. So let's see whether or not we're correct. We've said 13 pence. So if I go from 20 and I count back until I get to the same line. So this is the same line here. So I'm going to get to the blue line. I've started from here. So if I get from 20 and I go back to 10, I've jumped back 10 pence, okay? So I've jumped back 10. I'm then going to go and jump back 1, 2, 3. And each one of these, I've jumped one space, okay? So I've jumped back 10, and then I've jumped back 1, 2, 3. So 10 add 3 is going to be 10, 11, 12, 13. So I'm going to give Jane back 13 pence. So that's just the same as what I calculated on my ruler, starting from 20, counting back to 7. I got 13 as my answer. It's exactly the same, but using the 100 square. So my change I'd give Jane is 13 pence. Next one, we've got a 10 pence from Alex, and he wants to buy some candles, which are 5 pence. So the calculation is 10 pence, take away 5 pence will give me the change. So I'm going to start from 10, and I'm going to find 5. So there it is. Now I just need to count the spaces in between to get to 5. Exactly the same. I could start from 10, put my finger on 5 and count the gaps in between, count the amount of jumps it takes, and that's going to give me my change. I'm going to do the same on here. So I'm going to go 10 and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And because I'm going this way on my 100 square rather than up and down, I'm just counting back ones, not tens. I'm just counting back ones. So 5 lots of 1, that's going to be 5 pence change. 5 pence change. Now this is the only way that we're going to show you. There is other ways you could do this, and I know that other people might be able to work it out differently, but this is the one way I'm showing you so I don't do much confusion at home. So we've got 10 pence. We're going to jump back until we get to our the amount that is the cost or the price of the item. So we're going to start from the money that's given to us, jump back until we get to the amount that it costs, and then we can see how much change is in between. Okay, just like the ruler, starting from one, finishing at the other, what's the amount in between? Let's go for this one. We've got Jane again. Jane's given me 50 pence and she wants to buy a cake that's worth 41p, a cupcake. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle 50. There's my 50. That's my starting number. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle 41. Now here's 41 here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to count how many jumps back it takes to get from 50 to 41, and that's going to give me my change. Okay, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 50 take away until I get to 41, my answer is going to be 9 pence change. That's how much change she's got, because we're going to go from the amount it costs to the amount that she's given us, and that's the change I'm going to give back to Jane. Right, moving on. Now it's actually quite important. I've put 9 pence and I've made sure that my 9 and my p are facing the right way. Otherwise it's going to look like something different, like 99. I don't want it to look like that. Right, now this is where it gets a bit tricky. Alex has given me £1 and he wants to buy something that is 78 pence. So Now, if I did 1 here, is that £1 or 1 pence? Maybe have a talk to your partner and see what I've done wrong there. So what I've done wrong there is it's 1 pence. That is not £1. How much is worth? How much is the value in pennies of £1? Well, it's the same value as carrying around 100 pennies. So that's my first number. I'm then going to find my next number, which is 78. Okay. And then I'm going to count back until I get to 78. Okay. So let's work it out. So from 100, I'm going to jump back to this line because it's not on this line. I need to get to that yellow line. So I need to get to the yellow line first. I'm going to jump back. But because I'm jumping, going from 100 to 90, that's 10. That's a jump of 10. I'm then going to jump from the green line to the yellow line. And that's another jump of 10. Then what I'm going to do is now I'm on the yellow line. I'm going to jump back on the yellow line because I'm going this way now. It then means that I can jump back in ones. So this is 1 jump and this is another 1 jump. So it is 1. Each one of these is worth 1 jump. So 10 add 10 is 20, 21, 22. So the answer is going to be 22. And because we're working with money, we need to put our pence at the end. And that's how much change that Alex is going to be given, as he gave me 100 pennies. He bought a hat for 78p, and the change that I gave him was 22 pence. So this is your challenge 1. I want you to find the change. So what you can do is you can do one of 2 methods. Okay, the first method is you can pause the screen and use this number line to help you. You could also use your ruler at home. This is what I've shown you is a nice easy way of doing the jumps on something that you can see. So for the first question, you've got the starting amount of 10 pence. Somebody gives you 10 pence and they're buying something that's worth 5 pence. You need to see where you could either circle the numbers and count the jumps in between, or find the 2 numbers on your ruler and count how many jumps are in between to get from one number to the next. Okay, so that's your challenge 1. You've got this question here and you've got this question here. Okay, so I want you to complete that. I've also put a ruler on the screen. If I just move myself, there we go. You can then use this ruler as well if you can't find your ruler at home. Challenge 2. This is the amount of money that's given to the shopkeeper, and this is what they're buying. Looks like a games console, which is very cheap for a games console, isn't it? So you've got this amount of money, this is how much it costs, and you need to tell me what the change is. And then this is your starting amount that's given to you. This is how much it costs. Tell me how much change you give. And then for challenge 3, the starting amount, the amount of the item costs and how much change, and the same for question 6, the amount of money given to you for this item which costs this amount, and you need to tell me what the change is. Okay, there's also another challenge 3 question here. You've got 2 items which you need to add together to find out how much it costs, and then this is the amount of money given, and you need to work out how much change there is left. Okay, and that is everything for today, other than this one extension which everybody could try, and it says, what is the smallest value coin I could use to pay for this robot? How much change would I receive? So you need to tell me what is the smallest value coin that you could use to pay for this robot. So what's the one coin that you could use to pay for this robot? But try and make it the smallest value coin. What's the smallest value coin that you can pay, but you would still get change from it? Okay, and how much change would you receive? Thank you very much for coming along to this lesson. I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson. Goodbye, Da Vinci.